When we fail to stick to a diet or find ourselves scrolling past midnight, we usually call it a failure of willpower. We assume that if we just wanted the goal enough, we'd have the discipline to reach it. Dave fits this description perfectly. He is ambitious, has clear objectives, and genuinely wants to eat healthier, practice his guitar, and reclaim his time from his phone. But his mornings tell a different story. He walks into the kitchen intending to grab an apple, only to see a plate of cookies sitting on the counter. Before his long-term health goals can even register, he's reached for a cookie. The immediate visibility of the cookies exerts a stronger pull on Dave's behavior than his morning resolutions. His surroundings are currently dictating his choices. It's the same story with his music. Dave wants to practice his guitar, but the instrument is currently zipped inside a case in the back of a dark closet. In the evening, he sits on the couch to read. But because the TV remote is resting right next to his hand, he finds himself watching a show he didn't even plan to turn on. This is the invisible hand of human behavior. We often pick up an object or start a task not because of an internal drive, but because that object is the most prominent thing in our immediate field of vision. Dave attributes these moments to a lack of character, unaware that his habits simply respond to the prompts left scattered around his house. This dynamic was studied at Massachusetts General Hospital by physician Anne Thorndike. She believed she could improve the eating habits of thousands of people through choice architecture, reorganizing a space without ever trying to change a person's motivation. This diagram shows the cafeteria before the study. Refrigerators next to the cashiers held only soda. Researchers then added bottled water to those refrigerators and placed water baskets by the food stations. Soda sales dropped by 11.4%. While water rose by 25.8%. This shift illustrates an equation written by psychologist Kurt Lewin. Behavior is a function of the person in their environment. Thorndike's data suggests that behavior often follows the layout of the room. When the physical environment is redesigned to favor a specific choice, the actions of the people within it tend to shift accordingly. For Dave, this means he can stop struggling against his house and become its architect. A similar effect was seen in a Dutch study of energy usage. Homeowners used 30% less electricity simply because their meters were located in the main hallway, where they were impossible to ignore, rather than hidden away in the basement. Dave begins his own redesign. He places filled water bottles on his desk and moves his guitar stand into the center of the living room, making the visual cues for his goals unavoidable. He also adopts a one-space, one-use rule. He designates a specific chair for reading and removes any distractions from his bedroom so that the space is reserved solely for sleep. By making the physical cues for his preferred habits large and obvious, the right decisions begin to feel like the natural path of least resistance. This strategy works in reverse as well. If the first law of habit change is to make it obvious, the inversion is to make the bad habits invisible. While willpower is a useful short-term tool, it's an exhausting way to live. Designing an environment that lacks triggers is a more sustainable, permanent solution. Dave moves the cookies to the highest shelf in the pantry. He unplugs the TV and places the remote in a closed drawer. He is cutting the habits off by removing the prompts that start them. Removing a single cue can be the difference between mindlessly repeating an old habit and letting it fade away entirely. We can see the results in Dave's new routine. He moves through his day drinking water, practicing guitar, and reading his book, all without the internal friction he used to feel. He isn't white-knuckling his decisions or fighting a mental war. His actions now match the path he has cleared for himself. Building a better routine doesn't have to be a battle of willpower. Success becomes more sustainable when the physical layout of your life supports the version of yourself you are trying to build.